So we finally made it back to Bruce's broken down ATV. What happened was when he was crossing the creek there's an A-arm underneath that kind of holds the wheel on, and it broke. Steve went back to Nome, he got some parts off of an old one and all the tools that we need. And I think they're gonna get it. I'm keeping my fingers out of there though, because there's a lot of cooks in that kitchen.
You're gonna get it. When it hits it, you got pressure on it.
You see that rubber moving?
Yeah. You got another bolt?
Yeah, I think I'll just hang out over here by myself, out of the kitchen. Again, this is the Moonlight Camp. This was an original mining camp from the early 1900s, and that's an original cabin from then. We might take another peek at that before we go. That valley up there is really cool. We were up there a few days ago and had a good time. Well, it was the day that Bruce broke his machine. And if you look over here, this is the remains of a pile of coal. There's actually some coal left. Now, I don't know if this coal was used to heat the cabin or to run the machinery, because it's as likely as not that those big pieces of machinery over there were run by steam. So it could have been for that. I just don't know for sure. One thing I find interesting about this particular claim is you'll notice there's a lot of quartz in here, which makes sense because that's what contains gold often. But there's also limestone. This is all limestone rock, which is really odd to me because I never think of limestone containing gold deposits. But the way the gold gets in the rock is that it's heated, superheated way down in the crust, and it's forced to the surface, I believe in a dissolved state. And it can go through the cracks and crevices all the way up, and it can be any kind of rock that it's going through. So it can be going through limestone and depositing gold. It can be going through gneiss or any other type of stone and be depositing gold. So it takes specific circumstances for that to happen, but it just always blows me away to see limestone and gold. I never think of that because we have a lot of limestone back home in the Shenandoah Valley, but we have no gold, so at least not yet. I haven't found any yet, so it's always a first. I know you're probably getting tired of me pointing out the different flowers that I see, but I really like flowers. I mean, they're beautiful. They add something to the ambiance of any area in. And especially up here in the tundra, I mean, we're just below the Arctic Circle, and to see these beautiful flowers just warms my heart. I don't know what kind they are. There's some beautiful white ones, and the reason I wanted to, oh, look at this. Oh, that's gorgeous too. Look at that. It's a beautiful plant. But I wanted you to see these. I haven't really seen too many that look like that and that color, and right beside it is some beautiful blue ones as well. We'll venture just a few feet over and you have this kind of a lavender color. I find myself trying not to step on them. Kind of crazy, I know. Look like little bells, don't they? There's a line of the cans that are nailed to the side of the cabin out this direction. Now, there's one here. I saw another one or two down here. So imagine this is the direction. Yeah, here's one. If you look right up in there, there's another one. Of course, there's a cabin. So that tells us which direction the wind blows here. Mostly. So I guess this would have been the outside of the can. It looks like it was painted at one time. This was the inside. See, this is the how they put the can together. And they just cut it and flattened it out. Not sure what it was. Here's some more. You can just imagine being up here in the winter time when it's 50 below zero and the wind is howling at a gale force coming over the top of those ridges right there. I can imagine the noise it would probably make and the shaking that cabin would endure. I love to be up here. I'd love to spend a winter up here. One winter, that's all. These remind me of a miniature forest. I think these are the willows they keep talking about. Not quite like any willow I've seen, but that's what they tell me they are. You see little catkins on them. Oh, that's soft. That's the softest it's gonna be. I can make a catkin bed out of that and sleep the night away. Maybe the mosquitoes would even leave me alone. Something heavy stepped here. Looks old. That's a bear track, isn't it? Look. That's a bear. This is the back of his pad. You can see where his claws would have been right here. But it's a very old track, so we don't have to worry about him today. Looks like the old Grizz was up here looking for mice or something. Like a nice big hole. See where he tossed the tundra way back in here. Small animal like a fox obviously couldn't do that. So at some point, there's a brown bear up here, foraging for delectables like Mr. Bow. I put up a fight though. Not for long, but I put up a fight. He's a ground squirrel, or Arctic squirrel dens. It's one thing they have a lot of up here, are those Arctic squirrels. I have not seen much else in the way of mammals, lots of birds, but very few mammals except for the squirrels. And one thing I see a tremendous amount of up here are blueberries. There are blueberries everywhere. And they grow fast too. When I first got here, they were in blossom, and over the course of a couple weeks, they're already getting fruit. They'll be ripe soon. Probably within a month, I don't know. They have to do their business quick because the winters come early here in the fall. But the tundra is just covered with them. I think you could pick those things all day long. Well, I know you could, and never run out, ever run out. I like blueberries. I suppose that's bear doo-doo, or scat. Looks like it has a lot of berries in it, so that was probably from last summer or fall. Bears actually eat a lot of berries, and insects like ants and termites. I've seen, when I was up in British Columbia some years ago, I mean, there's bears everywhere up there along the edge of the road. They're just like rabbits running around. But they flip over rocks and you can just pull off and you can watch them. These giant brown bears will be along the edge of the road flipping over these big flat rocks, and they lick the bottoms of the rocks. Now, I was told that they're licking up the ants off the rocks, and it's just mind-boggling to see an animal that weighs that much, 1,000 pounds probably, eating ants for supper or breakfast, whatever it might be. I found a little shoe. Looks quite small. Somebody had a very tiny feet, but I guess it must have been a miner. Looks like an old one, doesn't it? Wow, that's tiny. This looks like the remains of another cabin. There's a couple right here, completely rotted away, or almost completely. So I imagine this is from the original mining days in the early 1900s. That looks like some sort of tar paper. Not tar paper, it's too heavy for that, but that's probably what they roofed the building with, and it obviously didn't last. And of course, you see all little round nails. So that dates it to post 1900, but again, we know that already just because of the history of the area. Ooh, here's an interesting can. Let's look at this. This is an earlier can, and the way you can tell is because of that dot right there. Now, I've talked about this in many other videos, but I'm going to talk about it again. That's how they seal this up. They seal this up with lead solder right there. Or not. That looks like part of their old stove. It's says steel range top panel number 8. I can't read it all. Of the Adams Company, something, Iowa. That's a number 8 stove. I have to look that up when I get home. It's a neat shovel, well, part of a shovel, and a very real danger when you're around old houses. Let's start with the danger. See? Piece of wood, nails sticking up, nails and screws. That's why you always have to be so careful walking around here, like little punji sticks. So we're gonna just turn that over and put it like that. But I wanted to show you this shovel. This is definitely an old-timey shovel. I like it. Saw something else. Oh yeah, look at this piece of limestone here. That looks almost like gold. I was telling you about the limestone having gold, and I didn't realize in the past that it might, that you could find gold where you could find limestone. That's really interesting though. I think that is actually gold right there at my fingertip. Try to zoom in for you. Hold your breath. What do you think? Is that gold? Looks like gold to me. One way we could tell is if we had a penknife, we could pick at it, and if it bends, we know it's gold. If it just flakes off, it's not. So we repaired Bruce's four-wheeler, and we're getting ready to leave the haunted Moonlight Canyon shack. And guess what? Steve's machine is now broken.
Battery is about right there. I'm gonna take all this off.